Alright, hello everyone. We're going to look at a sketchbook, and this is something that I've been working over the past few years on, plein air painting. It started in Iceland on a residency trip, where you meet other artists and you spend a week working together, talking together. So we had about an hour on location to kind of explore, do sketching, take photographs and such. And so I was spending that with watercolor paint. Some of these are going to be more efficient and stronger than others. But overall in the book, you're going to see a great deal of evolution in confidence and handling of the paint. Some of these become a little bit longer sketches or studies, some of them are a little shorter. And then we start to come back to the Upper Peninsula. This is at Sugarloaf, Dead River Falls, and you're going to see a lot of work at Presque Isle. So I'm really investigating the medium as a source of inspiration for myself to learn new color and appreciate just what we have around us. Get out of the studio essentially. And I've definitely found the habit of getting out and painting every day changes your outlook, changes how you feel at the end of the day, that you accomplished something. So as we start to think about what is our sketchbook good for me, I've never been a great sketchbooker. I was always more in tune with a loose leaf sheet of paper, something that wasn't, I wouldn't get kind of attached to. I could toss it if it wasn't any good. But this book has become an important part of my development overall, and really it's a record now. It's a journal of those experiences. And so I've filled this one here in about a year, mostly in the summer, and then I've started a second one with gouache as well as watercolor to kind of push myself a little bit more. And that's the last one in that book. The other book, again, I said I started in gouache. This is somewhat of a different medium. It's opaque, so it's a little closer to oil painting or acrylic. But I'm going back and forth between watercolor, taking on trips, and then really trying to tackle some deliberate practice. I wanted to push the separation between the foreground and the background here, so treating it monochromatically. Depth of field is sort of blurry like a photograph. Looking at grouping areas and going out with a plan, going out on location with a plan, an idea in your head. I was looking at some artists who were working with strong diagonals, and I was pushing atmospheric perspective, and so I used it as a little bit of a scavenger hunt to say, I'm looking at Andrew Wyeth or an N.C. Wyeth painting, and they use a lot of gray. So can I find a composition out there that utilizes a lot of gray and develop something interesting? This one I was looking at letter form compositions, so there's kind of an S curve to this that I was out there actively looking for. I was looking at some figurative paintings that utilize negative space really well, so I wanted to try to tackle that to see how it would achieve a strong focal point for that portion. More of an unfinished piece. These are out in Norway now on a trip. Not as much time. This one I was battling the damp morning where the paper wouldn't dry. So you're going to have these moments of problematic things that happen on location that you got to deal with, which I find really interesting and fun as well. It adds to the overall piece and my experience of the piece. And then we're back in the Upper Peninsula at Presque Isle. That river is out on the Escanaba River. Gouache painting, trying to do something more architectural. And that's the final one where I'm at in this book right now. So the overall kit that I'm using is really nothing fancy. You can see it's all filthy and dirty right now as well. This is the general, travel palette. Closes up pretty tight, though it'll leak if it's a little damp. Comes with a small brush, though I very rarely actually use that brush. That's more in case I forget my regular brush kit, which is a little set of travel brushes. And they're just short, so they can pack in a bag really easily. And then I've got a blue water-soluble colored pencil that I'll do my drawing in. The colored pencil will dissolve in the first washes, but still be there enough that I can see the big shapes. I don't do a lot of strong drawing in it. It's more about big shapes. And so I hope you find some interest in seeing that process, and I encourage you to have some fun with your sketchbooks overall. Thanks, everyone.